Hi. With the console release of Insurgency Sandstorm around the corner, now more than ever there's been a need to compile as many tips as possible for new players. Without beating around the bush, these are all the tips I would give a brand new, unengaged member of the community. You're watching 5 Minutes of Sandstorm. Let's get started. The first and most important principle of Sandstorm is that, like many other modern shooters, noise is key. The shittiest graphics in the world could still be usable for great plays provided proper audio settings. 7:1 surround sound headphones are a game changer. Footsteps alone should tell you when and where enemies are approaching your position from, but be aware vertical translation can be a bit sketchy. Sometimes a floor above may sound like they're right behind you. Because friendly indicators are not always obvious and can also lag easily or disappear, the fastest and easiest way to determine whether adjacent players approaching are friendly or not will always be listening to voice lines. Both factions have voices unique to themselves, and learning them will be invaluable. Rule number 1, if you hear a woman, it's security. The default setting for security males will also sound more similar to insurgents, and I recommend switching your characters to the spec ops instead, as it is far more distinguishable and will avoid friendly fire incidents. Remember that if you can hear your character talking, so can everyone else. The number one way to eliminate both this and passive noises such as heavy breathing from low stamina or coughing from exposure is a gas mask. Mask up. Significant destruction may not be a feature, but penetration is. Much like real life, even the lowest caliber of weapons have a tendency to tear through most solid walls and even metal. It is not a very consistent way of killing, but with a little attention to sound, it may help you locate an enemy. Hence, they will always make noise if bullets come through a wall at least near them. And while we're talking about sound, we might as well also discuss sight. The strongest way to utilize vision is to limit how much your enemy can see. Don't run in, tackle every corner with a smooth gradual peek as to engage one enemy at a time rather than all at once. This is called slicing your pies. While optics are largely subjective, the undeniably strongest ones always have zoom. Toggle magnifiers and 1.5 times scopes are easily the best and cheapest way to gain an advantage when pushing or defending sightlines from any distance. The open nature of most maps makes a good scope far more effective than any holographic. If you can't toggle to a closer range iron sight or red dot, don't worry. Hip fire is a lot more accurate than you think. Peeking is fine, but if you know the enemy is pushing you, it is always better to hold still to eliminate audio that they might hear. Aim your gun and hold your breath for maximum accuracy. This will save you many times. Process of elimination is powerful. I'm defending this objective on a top floor with only 2 staircases to access it. If I can visibly identify the fact that nobody has come up one staircase, I only need to hold one angle and secure the win. You start every round loading a magazine, but because there wasn't a round already in the chamber, tapping the input to reload once will ensure you get standard capacity +1 ready to go. It may not be much, but you don't have much better to do when loading in and waiting to start. You can also perform quick reloads on the go. Double tap the standard input to drop your current magazine and load a new one. Be advised you will not be able to recover the first magazine off the floor. Without consciously counting your shots, you will never know the capacity of a magazine. However, holding the reload input will start a pat-down check where your character gauges the capacity of the loaded and next 3 magazines in queue based off of weight. If your magazine has low ammo in it, don't keep it, drop it. Chambering the last 3 or 4 bullets of an already used magazine later is less efficient than switching to a secondary, and you move faster carrying less magazines. Switching to your secondary is faster than reloading. Picking up someone else's gun off the ground is faster than switching to your secondary. While we're talking about scavenging weapons, if a loose weapon's magazine type matches your own, you can hold the input to pick it up and instead only take the magazine out of it into your own inventory. Far more weapons take the same magazines than you might think. These 8 different guns all take the same magazine type, and you can even pick up different variants of the same magazine from your own, like drum mags or extendeds. If you pick up a magazine type with a higher base capacity than your own, reloading will automatically equip it, even if your current magazine is full. Doors are fun. You can press the regular input to open it regularly. Be aware that it only opens one way and swings toward the side where the hinges are visible. Aiming while holding the input to open it will do so slowly and partially. You can use this to peek in or toss in grenades. Virgins will use the secondary input to kick the door inward or else the wrong way off its hinges, or else combine that same input with momentum to charge straight through it. Sophisticated men know that it's cooler to shoot the hinges off instead. When holding a grenade, either hold shoot to unpin it and ready an overhand throw, or hold aim to ready an underhand and then hold the other respective input to release the lever, starting the fuse sequence. From this point, the grenade is live and you cannot stop it from going off. Use with caution. Every grenade has a different fuse time. None stay in a live state more than 5 seconds, and as a rule, all non-lethal ordnance goes off far faster than lethal. Letting the grenade stay live or else cooking it in your hand for a second or two means you might not be able to throw it as far, but the enemy will have less time to react. I like to combine this with bouncing it off door or window frames into rooms to minimize my own chance of being struck and not giving them the chance to shoot me before throwing it. The only ordnance that explodes upon impact is Molotov cocktails. If you use Molotov cocktails, you are a
Jimmy Turner, my name.